Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello everyone and welcome to Gardening with Ben. I hope you're all well and I hope that you're enjoying the start of your week. Wow, it's Monday and spring has definitely come today. This is the second episode of the day, so if you've not listened to the first episode of Monday, feel free to go and check that out. That came up this morning. But yeah, this is the second episode, so you're getting quite a lot of episodes at the moment. So lucky you. But yes, this is our gardening podcast and we're back for another episode, and I just want to say thank you. I've been receiving quite a few messages at the moment from people saying how much they're enjoying it, and I was chatting to a lady earlier who had just started listening to it after following me on Instagram, and she's given me some great advice and telling me that I need to get people on talking to me and do some interviews with people. So watch this space. It may come, hopefully, soon, but we'll see. I still get a bit nervous about what I'd talk about, and yeah, it'd be interesting. If you've got any ideas of how I can interview people and what to talk about, feel free to send me a message. I always like to receive messages, and what you would like to hear on the podcast, because sometimes it does feel like I'm just going over old stuff previously, and I would like to do these every day because everybody seems to be enjoying them. And another nice lady commented on my Facebook post the other day saying, have you listened to Gardening with Ben's podcast? So yeah, everybody seems to be enjoying them at the moment, and hopefully as the months progress we'll be talking more and more about the garden and how much we enjoy it. And like I said, if I could do this full time, this would be absolutely perfect. Go to the allotment in the daytime, record my podcasts at night, and yeah, just talk gardening all the time. That would be perfect. But unfortunately, I don't think it'll ever happen unless we get 1 million people subscribed to my podcast. But we can only live and hope and pray. One day, and it might go viral, hopefully. So yeah, what have we been up to today? Well, it's been absolutely gorgeous here in Sheffield today. It's got up to about 14-15 degrees, and at one point I even took my hoodie off and my t-shirt to get a bit of warmth and a bit of vitamin D inside me, because a bit of vitamin D is good for the body and good for the mind and the soul, and it's good for you, a bit of sunshine on you. And somebody mentioned to me saying, have you put protection on? But it weren't the strong summer sun, so I'll be fine. And I just wanted a blast of the sunshine on me. I even posted a sneaky peek on Instagram. I cut out the explicit part of it. But yeah, it's certainly been a fantastic day on the allotment today. And what's made it better is that one of my friends came to see me as well, and he'd not been down to the plot for about a month now. So he'd noticed the difference of how much it's progressed within the last month and how much I've actually done. And yeah, last time he came down was the day before the storms, before the bad wind, and my shed was really rattling then. And I was saying to him, I hope it's still alive the next morning after the bad storm what were predicted. I had a few bits broken on it and a few panels broken on it, but there's nothing that we can't repair on it later on. And obviously I had the damage to the polytunnel with the skin splitting, but that's all repaired and it's stayed together, so I'm pretty pleased with how that's staying put. And yeah, it'll be back into full action this year inside the polytunnel, which I'm looking forward to. I'm just waiting for payday to come along so that I can buy my compost and start my seeds off. Why is it that months seem so long between paydays? But yeah, I can't wait to get that started. And I just noticed the price of compost, how much it's gone up this year. I used to get bags that were like $7.99 a bag. then it went up to £10 a bag, and then this year I've noticed it at £11.50 a bag. It's phenomenal. I really do need to get making my own compost and doing that on the allotment. It's something that I've not ever done on my plot, and I should really do it. I really should. It'd save so much money. Obviously there wouldn't be enough for everything that I need, but it'd save me so much money, so I'm gonna have to look into doing composting. And today's job, I've nearly cleared the full main area of my plot now, and this is where I do grow every little thing on my plot beds. All my sweet corn, my onions, my cabbages, my cauliflowers, everything. This is my main growing area, and I've nearly cleared it all now. I've just got about 4 more bed areas to do, and then it's all cleared, and then I've got the top of my plot to clear. Now, the other year I did build some compost bins, and I've not used them yet. I know I've built them, but I've not used them yet. They are there, they're standing strong. My DIY's actually worked for once, but I've not used them. So I really should use them. So yeah, we're going to be clearing the rest of the top of the plot from next week, hopefully. Tomorrow's job will just be finishing off all the bed areas and getting all that sorted. The hardest area that I've been working on at the moment are my paths, would you believe it? Because obviously all my paths are covered up with black membrane, because I use the black membrane to keep the weeds down, and it's just compacted over like the year, because every year, I know I don't have to, but every year I take all the black membrane up and I dig underneath it and dig it all over, because I've had a lot of issues with bindweed, so many issues, and the bindweed has just grown under the paths everywhere. So I dig it all out and get as much out as possible, because obviously I don't want it taking over. So I usually take all the paths up and dig it all over. So I've been pulling all them back today and getting all the paths cleared, and wow, if you don't know what the joy is like of pulling bindweed out in a long piece, you haven't lived. I must be sad. But when I'm pulling bindweed out of the soil, you have to pull it so gently that it doesn't snap and you get a full piece of it. It's like pulling spaghetti out of the soil. If you've got bindweed, you'll know exactly what it's like. And to be honest, the bindweed doesn't cause many issues on the plot whatsoever. Yes, it does take over, yes, it's intrusive, but it doesn't cause any major damage really to the plot. But it's just obviously a bind. So yeah, we try and get as much out as possible. I seem to be getting on top of it every year and getting it back down. It's not as bad as it used to be on my plot. But if you saw the video of what it was like in my shed at the end of last year, wow, it was like walking into Jumanji. You should have seen it with how much bindweed it is. I shared a video of it on my Instagram reels, so have a look and see what you think to that. But yeah, it's been a good progressive day today, and I saw one of my plot neighbours, and he was asking me if I planted my own potatoes yet, and I said no, not yet, I'm waiting till Good Friday. But I don't know when Good Friday is actually this year. I've not even checked, to be honest. But if it's end of April, I'm certainly going to be planting them in the next couple of weeks, my potatoes. I just need to sort out the beds where I'm going to be planting them. I'm going to be planting them in my newest part of the plot, which is towards the top of my plot. And the beds up there are quite shady. They don't get too much sun up there, so obviously potatoes grow under the ground, so I'm guessing they don't need much sunlight, to be honest. I don't know, to be honest. Let me know if they need much sun for the plants above the soil, obviously, but the potatoes obviously grow underground, so they don't need the sun underground to grow. But who knows, I'll have to check up on that one. But yeah, I'm hoping to grow them at the top of my plot, and I just need to build the beds for that. We're building 3 new beds on my plot this year. We're getting further to the top of my plot, and then all my beds will have been built by the time I've done them 3 beds at the top. So we just need to find some more wood. My wood pile's getting smaller and smaller, and I've used quite a lot this year of my wood. I'm certainly impressed with how much it has come on this year, my plot, and how much I've actually done. It's certainly looking really good, my plot, and I'm impressed with how well it does look. I've even impressed myself with it. But yeah, it's just been a case of digging over today. Nothing too special. But tomorrow I think I might have to get that hose pipe out and start filling my water butts back up, because it's going to be a hot day tomorrow. It's going to be 17 degrees. And recently I've planted lots and lots of fruit on my plot. I've planted all my raspberry canes, what I've transferred. I've planted lots of different shrubs, what will need some water. And obviously all my strawberry plants and stuff like that. So I might give it a good watering tomorrow. Obviously the ground is still pretty wet when I've been digging over. It does hold the water quite well. So we do need to get on and get some more water into it, I think, because it's going to be warm over the next few days, so I don't think it's going to rain too much. And obviously the fruit trees and the raspberry canes around now, what I've just planted, will need a lot of water to keep them going and to get them established and growing, because we want fruit as fast as possible. And yeah, it's been amazing down at the plot today. It's just good being down there in the beautiful weather. The beautiful weather's finally here, and just the bees buzzing around you. I used to be scared of the bees, but now I just stand there and just watch them. They just buzz around and enjoy it, and they just really are fantastic creatures. And it amazes me what they do for us gardeners and for the allotments. So if possible, please do try and grow some flowers on your allotment, because it is super beneficial for the bees. And if you've never grown flowers on your plot before, have a go growing some this year. They're so cheap to buy from like Wilkinson's, B&Q, all the good garden centres. You can pick some up really cheap and just see how you get on with them. And yeah, try and attract the bees to the plot, because like I always say that without the bees we wouldn't get fantastic crops. And the more I can attract the bees to my plot, the more fruit I will gain from it. So that is my plan, just keep all the flowers growing around my fruit areas and attracting those buzzing bees, and so that I can watch them do the work and produce me some fruit. They're the biggest workers on the allotment, not me. The bees are the ones that do all the work. I'm just the one that tidies it up and collects all the produce. So yeah, help the bees and they will help us. So I'm really hoping that I can finish this area off that I've been working on tomorrow, and then when it comes to the next time I'm off, hopefully we can start sowing all the seeds, because I'll have been paid by then. So I need to go through all my seed packets now and see what seeds we're going to be sowing this month, and seeing what we're going to be getting started, and getting excited about doing it. Just sowing all them seeds, it'll be fantastic. And wow, I've certainly got some seeds to grow, and it's going to be a mammoth job. It's no quick job sowing seeds, if you know what I mean. It's a very tricky thing to do, because obviously you've got to sprinkle them all out individually and stuff like that, and not so too many clumped together. You need to put the compost in, you need to water it, you need to cover them over with something. I use cling film to cover mine over with, and it keeps them moist and wet, and it keeps them warmer as well during the cold nights, and hopefully helps with germination. And it seems to work every year when I've done it myself with that. You can obviously buy the perspex lids to go on top, but obviously they're expensive, so that's why I stick to cling film. Yes, I know it's not environmentally friendly, but I use cling film and I dispose of it properly. So yeah, we have got all them to do, and I've just got to make sure I've got enough seed trays, because like I said, I've got absolutely loads to do this year. I'm going to start all my flowers off first. That's going to be my first job of next block of shifts I'm off, getting all the flowers sown, and then the day after I'll probably be starting my vegetables, depending on how many seed trays we've got left. But it's going to be a big task, and hopefully I've got enough space in my shed. I've been making it bigger every single year. I've not extended it this year, but I am looking at doing some extension work on it once I've got caught up with everything and got it all sorted. And yeah, I'm looking at making my shed into a super shed and connecting it up to my polytunnel so that it's just one big shed polytunnel. But yeah, I'm looking at growing my tomatoes possibly in my shed this year, and having my melons in the polytunnel with the cucumbers, because they prefer hotter climates, and the polytunnel, wow, that does get hot in the summer. Tomatoes, yes, they like hot, but it will get hot enough in my shed for them, whereas the melons really need extortionate hot weather, which the polytunnel will generate and be the best place for them. So that's where we're going to do all those melons. So it's going to be exciting times, but I'm going to be recording it all and sharing it all with you. So make sure you do follow my YouTube channel, because I've been posting lots of videos on there recently, and quite a lot of people are enjoying them and subscribing to the channel, which is good. My subscriber rate's going up. I just need to get my watch time up and then it'll get monetized. But yeah, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel and check it out and enjoy the videos. We're going to be posting quite a lot on there this year. I think there's quite a few ideas that I want to do for the video side of it. It's something that I really do need to get into more and get started. So that has been Monday's podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're new to this podcast, make sure you do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. If you've not checked out my second podcast channel, the link is in the description. It's called Gardening and Allotment Tips Podcast, and I share regular podcasts on there, and they're just specific to one topic, whereas on this one we'll talk about everything and anything. On that other podcast channel, I'll just talk about one topic and one topic alone in each episode. So make sure you go and check that one out. So hopefully we'll get another podcast up tomorrow, and hopefully it's going to be as hot as they say it's going to be tomorrow as well. So I hope that you all managed to get out in some sunshine. I hope you all managed to get some vitamin D. Until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.